Coming to you live from Nairobi, Kenya, this is TV47 News Tonight. To our topics this 27th day of December 2022. Tonight, embattled Meru governor pleads not guilty to 4 counts of abuse of office.
Honorable Governor, to that charge, do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
As the county assembly makes its case before the Senate committee probing her impeachment.
The motion before you, Chair, revolves around gross violations of the Constitution, gross violations of various county and national laws, abuse of office, and gross misconduct.
Also tonight, temporary military camps set up to hunt for suspected terrorists and restore calm in Ruto area of Lamu.
Hili tatizo litakuja kumalizika tukitatua yale mambo yanahusiana na shamba.
Residents living in fear just a day after an attack that claimed the lives of 2.
Hii ardhi inapiganiwa sana. Na sisi tumeletwa huku kwa sababu ya hii ardhi. Ardhi inasemekana ni ya mwenyewe na ule mwenyewe hatumjui.
Plus, a new survey by research firm Infotrack shows that President William Ruto scored poorly on economic pledges made during the campaign trail.
Where he did not do as well as mentioned before are the areas with regards to the economic uplifting and improvement. That would then mean that Kenyans have a better standard of living.
Right, good evening, and Philip Omondi is on the sign language docket. I'm yours truly, Stanley Ringita. Merry Christmas to you and yours once again, and I'll buckle up. I'll be with you for the next 1 hour just to update you what is happening in the country and beyond. Now we'll begin on a sad note. A temporary military camp has been set up at the Ziwalata area in Ruto, Lamu County just a day after the suspected terror attack that left 2 people dead, with the residents living in fear. Area Governor Timami, however, feels that the attack could be land-related and not an act of terror. Nation Kabale reports.
It is just 1 day after suspected terrorists armed with guns and other weapons attacked the Tar village near Pandanguo in Ruto Division, Lamu West, that led to the death of 2. The incident has left the residents living in fear for their safety.
Sisi wa mama tumehangaika na watoto. Usiku tunatoroka. Tunafahamiwa wakati tunalala. Niambie mama, ukiwa na watoto utaenda vipi? Unaangalia mume wako wakati anawekwa chini anachinjwa. Uambiwe uangalie bwanako vyenye anaenda. Hebu angalia, hiyo ni huzuni kiasi gani? Sisi tunaomba kama akina mama. Tunaomba mpaka ninatoa machozi kwa sababu sisi wa mama tunahangaika. Tafadhali kilio kifike mwisho. Tumechoka.
According to the governor of Lamu County, land conflicts that have been witnessed from time to time might be the reason behind the recent attack and not Al-Shabaab as most of the people think.
Tutaki watu porojo waanze kusema hii ni Al-Shabaab. Hao wanaosema ni Al-Shabaab wanawajua hao Al-Shabaab. Hii ni uhalifu. Labda unahusiana na mambo ya ardhi. Na hii
It is said that an unknown person who claims to own the land in question where a section of Ruto residents live in is the main suspect who is alleged to have paid the attackers who left a house burning.
Hii ardhi inapiganiwa sana. Na sisi tumeletwa huku kwa sababu ya hii ardhi. Ardhi inasemekana ni ya mwenyewe na ule mwenyewe hatumjui.
Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata has asked the locals to work hand in hand with the police officers by providing more information that will help in dealing with the criminals.
Mmesikia governor akisema kwamba hili tatizo litakuja kumalizika tukitatua yale mambo yanahusiana na shamba na ardhi.
Nation Kabale, TV47.
Right, quite some sad state of affairs there. Now to some other matters, Meru Governor Mombasa has pleaded not guilty to all the 4 charges that informed her impeachment at the County Assembly. Mombasa was impeached by 67 out of 69 MCs of the Meru County Assembly. Flora Lemuki with the charges and the odds that could determine the fate of the embattled county chief.
Not guilty.
While appearing before the Senate Special Committee chaired by Kakamega Senator Bonnie Halwale, probing her ouster, the embattled Meru County Governor has denied all accusations leveled against her by the Meru County Assembly.
Bullying and inciting the public against the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Honorable Franklin Mithika Linturi, the Cabinet Secretary, at a public rally held at Lare in Tunene Ward.
The first charge was engaging in nepotism, illegal appointments, unlawful dismissal, and usurping of the constitution and statutory functions of the county organs.
To tame this untamed leader, who is at war, just like Adolf Hitler, in all directions of the campus, who is at war with everyone, both real and imaginary.
Kawira is also accused of incitement, bullying, vilification, and misleading campaigns against other leaders. Through the MCA's attorney Muthomi Thiankolu, Kawira is accused of bullying Akithi Ward MCA Mwenda Idhili to apologize to residents in a public rally.
Why didn't the governor avail herself of the opportunity to defend herself before the assembly?
The third charge facing Kawira was forceful entry into assembly premises and mobilization of unlawful riots against MCAs. This was during a maiden address to the county assembly, which the MCAs walked out on her.
Bullying and inciting the public against the minority leader and the member of assembly for Akithi Ward, Honorable Mwenda Idhili, the minority leader, at a public rally held at Mwerenkanga. B, requiring the minority leader to make a public apology for unknown and undisclosed wrongs at the public rally held at Mwerenkanga.
Mwangaza is accused of violating public finance management laws, while the last accusation is on misconduct relating to the nomination of CEC for youth in Meru County.
That there is a gender dimension, and the question we ask and the Senate, if that is true, why did all the 23 female members of the assembly vote to impeach her?
Today was the county assembly's day before the committee, with the governor expected to mount a defense Wednesday. 3 witnesses have been lined up in the proceedings, with the 11-member committee having up to December 30th to deliver its findings. Flora Lemuki, TV 47.
Well, thank you for that, Flora Lemuki. And now let's cross over to something else. And a survey by research firm Infotrack shows that President William Ruto has scored poorly in most of the 100 days pledges made during the campaign trail. Most of the respondents in the survey carried out on the 100th day of President Ruto's administration say that they're still struggling to put a meal on the table despite the promise of a turnaround in the cost of living within his first 100 days in office. Paul Kirobi with Ruto's 100-day hits and misses.
In a survey that was conducted immediately President William Ruto completed his 100 days in office, the president returned the lowest score in making food affordable and accessible to Kenyans, lowering the cost of living and improving the lives of low-income earners. Only 39% of Kenyans, more so from the hustler category, feel comfortable with the current cost of living. More than 50% still feels the president has not yet dealt effectively with the high cost of living. 49%, however, feel the president has improved the lives of the low-income earners through the establishment of the 50 billion Hustler Fund, which is being challenged in court.
Where he did not do as well as mentioned before are the areas with regards to the economic uplifting and improvement. That would then mean that Kenyans have a better standard of living. And so the score for making food, especially more affordable and accessible to Kenyans, got the lowest of all the scores that the president made pledge on and has been able to then do specific things on, where Kenyans gave him, a score of 40%.
This is despite President William Ruto promising to bank on agriculture and making food even more affordable to Kenyans. However, the president seems to focus more on addressing the political challenges of governance, which plays a critical role in making sure the government runs effectively. The president scored 57% when he appointed the 6 judges rejected by former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and 54% in making reforms in the institution of justice, law and order.
We all know that over and above what was pledged in the first 100 days, the 13 odd pledges, there are also those things that any government is meant to deal with, and we then also asked Kenyans to give us their opinion on those particular areas that are also critical for a government to deal with.
Other key agenda that President William Ruto promised in his campaign period that he felt will be unjust if not well addressed is the gender representation in his government. One of them is the implementation of the 2/3 gender rule and fair appointment of women in senior positions. The president scored 52.5% in implementing the 2/3 gender rule and fair appointment of women in senior positions. Infrastructure, which the president committed to continue with President Kenyatta's legacy project, is scored only 59% on the returning of the port operations to Mombasa. Other areas of interest is the menace of security challenges in some parts of the Rift Valley region and northern part of Kenya. The president scored 59.35 in enhancing security, peace and unity, while 54% in ensuring regional balance in government's appointment. However, corruption is still a major challenge, the president scoring 48.6% in the last 3 months. The Infotrack survey published on Tuesday assessed the president on governance, the economy, social progress, infrastructure development, and foreign affairs. The survey involved a sample size of 840 Kenyans and was conducted between December 21st and 22nd. Paul Kirobi, TV47, Nairobi.
All right, thank you for that, Kirobi. Let's stick around with matters Ruto's scorecard for a bit. And tonight, President William Ruto faces a tough balancing act in the new year as he juggles to pay the country's public debt, eating into 60% of the country's economy and managing high inflation that has seen the cost of living skyrocket. Politically, the president will be managing the expectations of hustlers and an opposition waiting on the wings of lower food and fuel prices. Apollo Kamau reports.
Smarting from election pledges to expectant weight of millions of hustlers, President William Ruto's walk into 2023 will not be a walk in the park. An economy operating at an inflation rate of 9.5%, with 60% of the country's revenues going to pay debts, has left the president in a quagmire, forcing the president to rally the nation to pay taxes and manage a skyrocketing public debt.
The outgoing administration has left us in a scenario where 60% of our revenues is going to pay debt. What KRA is collecting, 60% is going back to pay debt. So just put that in perspective. That's why when we say that these are not quick fixes, this is going to be a protracted process, incremental, for us to turn the tide.
Politically, the president, despite having numbers in both houses of parliament, ignited a political storm by initiating constitutional amendments, running the risk of his predecessors, President Daniel Moi, Mwai Kibaki, and Uhuru Kenyatta, through the creation of the office of the official opposition leader. President Ruto has to manage a restless opposition, keen to test his response on the high cost of living, which Odinga is keen to capitalize on to gain political mileage.
There is no prioritization at all of any constitutional amendments, but it is part of the legislative agenda that Parliament has to consider.
2023 will be the year President William Ruto's key promises will be put to full test. the implementation of the competency-based curriculum, CBC, the performance of his cabinet secretaries, the much-awaited case on the fate of chief administrative secretaries CASs, and reforms in key institutions like the judiciary, Directorate of Public Prosecutions, and the DCI. Apol Kamau, TV47.
All right, many thanks for that, Apol Kamau. Let's dive to some matters law and courts. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP, has appealed the acquittal of former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko in 20 million Kenyan shillings graft and money laundering case. The DPP say that they were dissatisfied with the judgment and appealed against the entire ruling and the resultant acquittal, saying that the court rule relied on extraneous reasons as a basis for acquitting the accused persons. According to the DPP, the magistrate grossly misdirected himself by relying on an old charge sheet filed in court on January 27, 2020, in making a finding that the charges were defective and disregarded the substituted charge sheet filed in court on September 7, 2020. In the appeal, the DPP said that the court disregarded the evidence on record and failed to make a finding on whether or not the prosecution had established a prima facie case against the suspects. The Anti-Corruption Court on December 21st acquitted Sonko of all corruption charges relating to the loss of 20 million Kenyan shillings in tender procurement at City Hall over 3 years ago for lack of evidence. Chief Magistrate Douglas Ogoti termed the charges as defective and that the prosecution failed to adduce evidence identifying the companies that were said to have been paid the money. Sonko was charged alongside Anthony Otieno, Ambok, alias Jamal, and Rogue Security Limited with conspiring to extort 20 million Kenyan shillings as an inducement to facilitate payments to Weber Tribe Limited by the Nairobi County Government in January 2019. And elsewhere, Mombasa Governor Abdul Somad Nasir has announced that 7 rescue and patrol boats have been deployed along all public beaches in the county. The move comes a day after 2 people lost their lives after a boat they were traveling in capsized at the Jomo Kenyatta Public Beach, commonly known as Pirates, on Sunday. Speaking during his visit at Pirates Beach, Governor Nasir said that each boat will have a Kenya Coast Guard officer, a lifeguard, as well as youth with diving experience recruited by the county for the festive season.
Nimefanya mpangilio, kutakuwa na boat 7 za patrol that will be moving around area hii ambapo kwamba ndio the most frequented area. Kutakuwa na boat 4, kisha baada hapo katika island pia kutakuwa na boats, na from there the Likoni side ambapo kwamba watu wanajivinjari katika maeneo ya Shelly Beach na sehemu ya Jomvu, pande za Mkupe, all areas ambao kwamba ni recreational areas katika wakati huu. Na I'm glad that some of the boats are already here, and ajali utokea, lakini we need to be prepared.
Toka eneo la Changamwe kwa ajili ya kujivinjari, kwa sababu kumekuwa na wakati mgumu wa mwaka ule mwingine ambapo hatukushuhudia watu wengi kama tunavyoshuhudia sasa. Ikabidi nikasema kwamba lazima nikaweze kufika hapa kwa ajili ya kuja kujionea mandhari ambayo yako hapa.
Tumekuja kuogelea, tumefurahia na familia zetu wote, maana lasia tungeweza kufika, lakini siku ya leo kwa ajili ya Mwenyezi Mungu na uhai wetu ametujalia uhai mpaka tuko hapa na familia yangu yote.
From County 001 to some matters insecurity. Suspected armed bandits who have made areas of the north inhabitable due to the cattle rustling are seemingly changing tact and are now attacking long-distance vehicles ferrying cattle. Commercial drivers plying the Isiolo-Moyale highway have urged both the county and the national governments to come to their aid and secure the highway, which has become unplayable following an increase in banditry attacks.
There was a 19-hour traffic gridlock at Marsabit town from Monday afternoon to this morning after 30 trucks loaded with cattle and camels got stranded due to fear of bandit attacks.
Tulifika hapa saa 8 jana, mpaka sasa tuko na shida. Sijui nini imebadilika. Samani unapea escort mpaka huko Achas, sasa inasikia imebadilika. ndio tunaumia kwa barabara. Ng'ombe inakufa, ngamia, mbuzi, iko karibu gari 30 iko hapa.
According to Aidan Isak, a truck driver who regularly plies the Isiolo-Moyale route, bandits suspected to be from Samburu County usually ambush vehicles between Archers Post and Merile areas, forcing them to offload livestock from the trucks.
Iko shifta kwa barabara bana, hii ya Samburu. Inaumesha bana, inashukisha ng'ombe inachukua. Hiyo ndio shida. Unaambia fungua gari yako kama ni trailers inashukisha unaenda naye. Sasa wewe unaweza wengine inachukulia ukiona.
Yusuf Abdallah, one of the victims of the highway bandits, says he is lucky to be alive, although he still has a bullet lodged in his body after being shot in the collarbone on 6th August this year.
Nimebeba ng'ombe, ngamia, mbuzi na zinakufa kwa gari, zingine zinaumia hapo. Hatupati usaidizi kwa kaunti yetu. Tumekosa usaidizi. Hiyo yote ni shida ya security. Hatuna security ya kutosha. Security hatupati. Nimepigwa risasi, nimefanya operation juzi tu, hata imeshinikana kutolewa, hata hadi saa iko kwa mwili yangu.
Passenger service vehicles have also expressed fear of using the route, a situation that has paralyzed the movement of people during this festive season.
Sasa kwanza ni wakati mwaka mpya tunaelekea. Sasa barabara hata si mzuri, tunafaa kuwa na security vizuri. Wengine wanaenda kusherehekea New Year. Tumeshinda kutembea baba. Tunaomba serikali tuangalie tafadhali.
After neighboring Isiolo County experienced rainfall, herders from Marsabit have been using trucks to ferry their surviving cattle to Isiolo in search of pasture. However, the highway ambushes are frustrating their efforts, residents now expressing fear that their animals could succumb to the effects of drought if the road is not made safer to enable their rescue efforts.
Sasa kiangazi imejaa huko kwetu na ng'ombe yote unaanza kukufa. Sasa juu hapo mbele saidi ya Isiolo iko na mvua. Sasa sisi yote unabeleka ng'ombe huko. Na ameshinda hata kwa barabara kupita.
Among the areas residents term as dangerous are Malgis Bridge, Milima Mitatu, and areas between Merile and Archers Post.
Na wanavamia magari kwanza, wakiona gari ya ng'ombe inabidi sasa wanapiga risasi mingi mpaka wanaua dereva. Kama huyu mmoja mwenye alipigwa risasi ni rafiki yangu. Sasa imekuwa hiyo barabara ipitiki, hatuna amani. Na inabidi sasa hata serikali Ruto mwenyewe akuja hapo kwa hiyo barabara angalie mambo. Hata kama hujabeba ng'ombe, kama umebeba mzigo mwingine ya kawaida, bado hao shift wa Samburu wako hapo. Wanapiga risasi, unasimama, wanakuambia utoe simu, utoe pesa, wanafuliza. Kama una pesa, kama uko na pesa kidogo unapigwa mwili.
Sylvia Nyongesa, TV 47.
And teachers in Embu County have threatened to go to court to stop an advertisement on promotion of teachers by the Teachers Service Commission, TSC. According to them, the promotions are discriminatory, that they will down the tolls if the TSC will not rectify the mess that has been there since 2012.
The Teachers Service Commission has been faulted for advertising for promotion of teachers without considering all the teachers. The advertisement stated that the applicants who meet required qualifications as per the Teacher Career Progression Guidelines have until the 29th of January 2023 to submit their applications. But according to the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET Embu leadership, the promotions by TSC were discriminatory as diploma teachers, who are the bulk of the union, were not considered.
We are not very happy because most of our members have been left out in the promotions. For example, the slots for C3 and C4 are very few. Number 2, there is no slot for D4. Number 3, we are here because the diploma teachers, who are the bulk of our members, have been left out in the promotions.
The Embu branch members, who have since joined their counterparts in other counties in protesting the move by TSC, have stated that the Career Progression Guidelines, CPG, has caused the stagnation of promotion of teachers in one job group for years.
Na tulisikia shirika letu la TSC likiambia wajumbe ya kwamba hakuna mwalimu amestagnate. Tungependa wajumbe waje kwetu na watuitishe data, kwa sababu tutawapea walimu, tutawapea data na barua za walimu wakati walipromotiwa. Kuna walimu walipromotiwa mwisho 2012 na mpaka saa hii wako katika the same job group.
So we want to tell Teacher Service Commission, and we also want to request our leaders through parliament and all that to help us have a commission that is functional a commission that has the interests of teachers at heart, a commission that has a good relationship with its members, not a commission that is full of threats, intimidations, harassments, and all that. So as a branch today, we stand with our members who are feeling left out because we are also teachers, and we say that we shall stop at nothing until justice is done to our teachers.
This even as the teachers have threatened to go to court to stop the promotion process of filling the vacancies for principals, deputy principals, senior masters, secondary teachers, head teachers and deputy head teachers in secondary and primary schools. Right, moving on, Western Kenya members of parliament have condemned Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for what they say are attacks against Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja. They want President William Ruto to intervene on the matter, even as they issued a raft of demands to the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Western Region MPs have today in unison condemned Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on what they term as being tribal and interfering with Nairobi County leadership.
We are calling on the President to intervene and end the attacks on the governor. We would like the city to function properly. We would like Sakaja to have his support.
Every time he's saying, oh, this is now for Kikuyus, this is now ours. Why is he the deputy president? Just in case he has a good friend, he should be reminded that he is not a Kikuyu deputy president.
They have tabled their grievances to the government of the day, urging the revival of stalled projects in Western Region and fairness of new projects that will spur development.
The way we are putting money in coffee in Central Kenya,
yes.
In tea, yes. In Rift Valley, we want to put money in engineers, put money in sugar. Tuache siasa mingi. Ikifika huku kwetu, tunaanza kusema plani, nini. Kwani kofi hakuna waulizi hiyo plan? Tia waulizi hiyo plan? Hata miraa kitu inamea tu peke yake. Mnaweka pesa to improve miraa. Surely.
They stated that Kakamega and Bungoma County, which are among 14 counties, have been marginalized in teachers' recruitment, urging Teachers Service Commission (TSC) to intervene.
Kakamega having a shortage of almost 7,000 teachers and Bungoma almost 2,000 teachers. They call upon the Teachers Service Commission to ensure equity and have a Marshall Plan in teacher recruitment to end the marginalization.
They have, however, called upon Examination Council and Ministry of Education in the country to take remedial plan and release the accurate results of Moi DEB Primary School results in Bungoma County, stating the school stakeholders have been traumatized by the situation.
A petition was already done. We have sent to the National Assembly. All those petitions have actually been done with, and we expect swift action. Otherwise, we will paralyze the recruitment of students going to Form 1, because these children are not children of a lesser God. They need also to get a fair portion of their schools which they opted to choose over this particular result.
Luya unit was also an agenda of their meeting.
We are about 6 counties, if we include Nairobi team. So we are going to make some changes which people have been laughing at us. We had become a laughing stock. But this time, I can assure you to watch that something is going to happen.
Now to some firefighting lessons, and the national government, in collaboration with Poland government, has developed the first ever disaster curriculum in the country that will be used to train firefighters and disaster respondents in all 47 counties. A training center has been built in Kiambu County, and the curriculum has been accepted with the National Commission for Technical and Vocational Education, where all graduates will be accredited. Speaking in Kiambu County, Firefighters National Chairman Samuel Kahura, who has been in the forefront to spearhead the program, said since independence there has never been a harmonized training curriculum for firefighters and other disaster management, with many of the responders being drawn from disciplined forces. Poland Secretary of State in Ministry of Funds and Regional Policy, Malgorzata Jaronski-Siska Jedinak, said her government will continue offering support to the disaster management team in Kenya to enable them to be proactive in their duties.
stories.
Hey!
Kaluma King Herbal Lozenges zinazo nguvu maradufu kutuliza kikohozi, vidonda vya koo na mafua. Kaluma King ni shwari.
Tika mama huyo muharifu kaiba kuku zangu, vifaranga wangu na mayai zote pia kabeba. Haya, tika mama huyo.
Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Discover a world full of opportunities, a place to build your skill and see the world in a different perspective. Sensei Institute of Technology is the home to the best practical courses, giving you hands-on experience to handle the world. We offer courses such as plant operator, plant mechanics, driving and trailer driving, CCTV and alarm installation, solar installation, electrical installation, motor vehicle mechanics and electronics, building construction technology, welding fabrication, roads and dam construction, hospitality courses, and many more. For you to join us, ensure you have your national ID card and be ready to enjoy the ride.
Remember, my skill, my future at Sensei.
Sensei College, my skills, my future.
The secret to an instant glow and spotless skin. Acne C10 is a 10% pure vitamin C serum that effectively fades dark spots and clears dark patches. With a unique formulation, it is quickly absorbed deep into the skin to give optimal results. Acne C10, 10% pure vitamin C serum, safe on all skin types.
Are you looking for a college that will impact your practical skill sets? Tristan School of Medical Health and Science Technology offers market-driven programs in diploma and certificate levels in the schools of health sciences, social sciences, applied sciences, and business and informatics. Enroll for our January 2023 intake to enjoy seamless student experience. You deserve qualified faculty leadership to set a good guide for your career. Tristan School of Medical Health and Science Technology, partners in your journey to excellence.
Karibuni sana, karibuni. Niwauzie?
Ugali matumbo batia mimi.
Ugali matumbo! Na wewe? Ipe wali maragwe? Wali? Wewe, mchele madando hapo!
Nilikuwa nataka kaomena na kadoma.
Customer, usijali, chakula yako tutakutengenezea kwa dili yako tu.
Maisha yako, mapendeleo yako. Tunukiwa na Safaricom. Chagua bei yako ya kupiga simu au data. Piga *444# au utembelee My Safaricom app upate deal poa ya kupiga simu. Uongee zaidi au browse zaidi.
Nataka chapati na crips.
Mala sausage. Nataka ugali na
TV47, the home of untold stories.
Right, 33 minutes past the top of the hour. Thank you for your patronage so far. Let's keep updating you more. Residents of Kapsabet town in Nandi are calling on the national government and President William Ruto's help to alleviate the health risks facing them due to a breakdown of the sewage system in town, thus pouring raw sewage water into the homes and rivers, arguing that the county government of Nandi has turned a deaf ear on their misery. Our Nandi County correspondent Chris Pett compiled the report and now paints the picture.
Kusema kweli ni kama serikali ya Nandi inalisha watu wake maji ya sewage.
Tunataka haki tutendewe, sababu watoto wetu wameumia, ng'ombe yetu imeumia, chakula yetu imekufa, hakuna, na hatutavumilia hiyo shida.
For years now, the residents of Kapsabet town had to put up with the horrible, filthy condition occasioned by the seeming failure by the county government of Nandi to repair a sewage system and sludge pump, which has exposed them and their animals to a myriad of problems, including persistent outbreaks of waterborne diseases. A brief tour of Kapsabet town municipality shows an extreme dire situation, with raw sewage flowing into the river Amai, an important source of water for the residents. Amai River is a key water source, not only for the residents and livestock, but also for irrigation during a dry season.
Ninaishi karibu na mwisho huko, na hii sewage inaenda, hii sewage imeenda mpaka kwa maji, na hizo maji ng'ombe inakunywa huko. Alafu hiyo ng'ombe tunakama. That means also tunakunywa.
Sewage na kunywa huko. Hii maji yote ukijaribu kumwaga maji kwa mboga imechomeka. Ng'ombe yetu imekufa kwa sababu ya sewage.
Agnes Maina, a resident of Kamngetuny, tells us that the smell of the raw sewage scared away her tenants, washing away our only source of income.
Sewage imetupatia hasara kubwa sana. Mimi kwanza nikiongea ni kama owner, niko na rental houses na ziko vacant kwa saizi. So kwa upande huo nimeumia sana kuhusu maneno ya sewage. Sewage yenyewe ndio hiyo walikuja wamebomoa, wamewacha ikileak inamwagika kwa mtoni.
Kuna wakati tuliongea na CEC wa health, that was 2017. Mama mwenyewe alikuja, akaona area, akatueleza vile inaweza fanyika, lakini hakuna kitu ilifanyika kutoka wakati huo. Saa hii tukiongea, I believe kama na Nandi County anajua ni nini inafanyika hapa. Na kusema kweli ni kama serikali ya Nandi inalisha watu wake maji ya sewage.
The residents are also fearing for the safety of their children who risk falling into the mostly unprotected sewage water points and city manholes.
Sisi hapa tuko na watoto wachanga, tuko na plots iko vacant, watoto wanacheza mpira within the sewage. Hatuna mahali pa kuenda, hatuna mahali pa kusonga.
Sewage imetobolewa kupitia shamba ya kanisa na inaingia kwa stream ambayo iko hapa chini, na inaingia katika maji ambayo pia watu wanakunywa. Na jambo lingine ni kwamba hii ukiangalia fence ya hii sewage yote imeharibiwa na haifanyi. Sasa watoto wakikimbia hapa unapata ya kwamba danger ya hii sewage, watoto wanatumbukia ndani.
Few meters away, residents of Surungai are complaining of unbearable living condition as a result of stench from the unsealed sewer lines, adding that the rainy season further aggravates the situation as the storm water carries the waste right into their homes.
Tuko hapa tuna sewage ambayo inatoa maji sana, wakati inaponyesha tunaathirika sana. Harufu inakuwa ni mbaya sana, hata watoto wetu tunaona kama wanadhishikwa na kipindupindu hata kwa shogu kwa sababu ya harufu mbaya na inafurisha tumbo.
Mvua ikinyesha iko na leakage kubwa, na sisi hapa tunatumia maji ya mtoni. Sisi ni watu tunatumia maji ya mtoni, hatuna ile bili ya kulipa maji, inatuhangaisha. Ikinyesha inateremsha mtoni, na mtoni si mbali, ni hapa chini. Tunaomba serikali tusaidie, inaingia hata kwa manyumba pia.
Kosirai residents too narrates of the inhuman condition they had to live in due to sewage water collection point within their neighborhood.
Wakati mvua inanyesha kama saizi vile mvua inataka kunyesha, hii maji ni mbaya sana. Inaponyesha maji yote inatoka town na nyingine inatoka Kamobu, yote inajaa hapa, inakuja mpaka kwa hii barabara. Na hapa jioni unaona watoto wanatoka shule wanakanyaga hii maji, wanakuja kwa nyumba kama wananuka. Juu hiyo maji yote ya town, maji yote ya Kamobu inaleta hapa, inakutana na hii sewage, hapo kuna nuka vibaya kabisa.
Wapangaji zingine inanyesha bwana. Hata hakuna wapangaji hapa. Wakati wa mvua wanahama wote, hata kiwanja hii inajaa muda watu. Hakuna kama hii ama hapa watu kwa harufu peke yake, hakuna watu hapo. Hizi nyumba za mtai. Lakini harufu peke yake inatoa.
The residents now want the county government of Nandi to relocate the sewage collection points away from the population to give them a serene environment to live in and to remove the risk of deadly infections that have affected them for years.
Hii kitu haikuwa supposed kuwekwa hapa. Hapa tunaishi, hapa ni makazi ya watu. So ninaomba watoe hii sewage hapa. Hapa ni makazi ya watu, inatakikana itolewe hapa, watafutie pale pengi.
Mambo ya pumps atuone ikifanya. Pump imeletwa nyingi sana hapa na sina fail. Either watutoe hapa ama wa relocate sewage. Otherwise hatuwezi endelea hivi.
Our efforts to reach to the concerned authorities here in Nandi County were futile, as the question remains at the lips of the residents. For how long will they continue to suffer? Chris Bett, TV 47, Nandi County.
Right, thank you for that, Chris Bent. That is definitely one clear picture that is quite on all 47 counties, and is definitely one that all the county chiefs should really take up on. And speaking of county chiefs, Meru County Assembly put up a spirited defense of the move to impeach Governor Kawira Mwangaza, asking the Senate to save the county government from turning into what they termed as unmitigated disaster. Appearing before the Senate Special Committee investigating the proposed removal from office of the embattled governor, the Assembly told the committee that the county is under siege and could soon sink into crisis should the Senate look the other way.
It was a date for the Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza to meet her accusers and to face the evidence they had presented against her when they voted to oust her from office.
Because at any rate, it's a trial. What is good for the goose should be good for the gander. Thank you, Chair.
Gora Abogeta West MCA tabled the motion to impeach the governor before the County Assembly of Meru a month ago. The committee admitting new evidence as presented by the County Assembly in what the chair Boni Halwale says it will help the committee in making its determination.
Tells the right to produce any materials that she feels are necessary for the tribunal's consideration to assist in her defense. I do not know why the County Assembly is afraid of these materials being introduced, because they will assist in the tribunal reaching a fair hearing. It is only fair that all materials are presented before you.
In addition, it is the County Assembly's submission that where a party could have exercised due diligence to produce documents and evidence and fails to do so, the party ought to be denied an opportunity to produce such evidence.
But when Kawira Mwangaza's main accuser and mover of the motion, Abogeta MCA DMK Kiongora, took the stage to substantiate his claims on why the governor needed to be impeached, the more the clips played, the more the mover was hard pressed on not only the authenticity but also their veracity and the level of criminal culpability. Kiongora complained of vilification of some of the MCAs, the area senator, and the immediate former Senator Mithika Linturi, who is now in charge of the county's agriculture docket, as well as the appointment of Kawira Mwangaza's husband, Morega Baishu, in one of the lucrative positions.
Because you said you have brought this motion as a public-spirited Marian.
I did not
write any letter?
No.
You did not?
Yeah.
You did not even seek to visit the governor for a courtesy call for that purpose?
I did.
Did you meet?
No, she was not available. I called her.
You called her?
Yes, she told me she's going to Egoji, so I should go there to tell her what I want there.
Oh, she had a program?
Yes.
And she informed you of the program?
Yes.
Did you, since you had time, you were looking to meet her?
Yes.
Did you go to Egoji?
I did not, because I had other duties. I wanted to meet her in town.
You had other duties?
Yes.
But you had time to meet the governor that day?
Yes.
You had time to meet the governor that day that you had called. That's why you had called her.
I wanted to meet her at the assembly because the activities were around the assembly. For maybe 30 minutes, I come back. Our office is just opposite of the road.
On the sidelines of the assembly?
Yes.
Okay.
That in
On 25th October 2022, while in Mombasa Westward South Imenti constituency appointed alternative MCAs.
So is it possible that two different people in two different locations are making the same typographical error?
What you recognize, Council, is that Salesi Motuma might come from Bori, but is a resident of Imenti South. So there is a possibility, and is very active in politics, that these people might know each other. So it doesn't have to be because they come from different places.
Order, Mr. Kiogora. You are on oath, and your counsel will advise you that there is an offense called perjury.
Is it possible, and you've not answered that question, that two different people presenting their thoughts on the impeachment are making the same typographical errors when presenting their views?
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
Doesn't it then confirm that these documents were prepared by the same person?
I cannot confirm that.
However, Kawira Mwangaza's lead counsel Elias Mutuma, in his defense, insisted Meru voters have total confidence in the governor, and that's why they rose above patriarchal culture and the party politics to elect her as their first woman governor, having also served them as their woman representative, adding that the election was clear demonstration that she is a leader who has appealed to the people owing to her leadership credentials. But
they have gone through the evidentiary materials and they have found nothing in those materials. If there is nothing, then they should allow us to use the evidentiary materials that we have brought before this committee. Honorable Chair, aspersions have been cast on the merits of those affidavits. This is not the time. They wait for the hearing. The witnesses will be here for cross-examination. They will have their day on. I honorably and humbly play that.
On Wednesday, the committee is expected to listen to Kawira Mwangaza's defense before retreating to write its report. Elizabeth Motuko, TV47.
Thank you for that, Motuko, and we'll definitely be keeping you abreast of those matters tomorrow. Now, as the year comes to an end, the Interreligious Council of Kenya has taken pride in its role of uniting the country and bringing change to the society, most so in the coastal region where drug addiction has become a major menace facing the youth. This as the Mombasa County security stakeholders lauded the council's work while promising to maintain the partnership for the interest of peace.
Waweze kushikana pamoja na kusaidiana kuhakikisha kwamba kuna amani katika eneo hili la pwani, na hasa kusaidia kutoa ile dhana kwamba kuna mwelekezo wa dini ambao unaweza kufanya watu wawe wapotovu.
Aid memo ile ilisomwa hapa ilikuwa ni very rich, ambayo inaweza kufanya transformation katika hii jitihada ya kuweka watu kuwatoa katika fikra mbaya hasa wa vijana na kuwaweka katika njia ambayo ni iliyo sawa kabisa, ili wawe kwa kizungu tunaita patriotic and good citizens.
Tukakuja na huo utaratibu ambao unatoa mwongozo wa kudili na masuala ya itikadi kali Mombasa. Leo aswa tulikuwa tunajadiliana masuala ya religious leaders ama nafasi yao katika haya masuala yote ya itikadi kali, ambayo leo tulikuwa tunajiuliza, je, sisi kama Mombasa tumefika wapi katika masuala ya kuinvolve religious leaders katika masuala ya itikadi kali, na ni vipi tunaweza endeleza haya mazungumzo ndipo nafasi yao ikuwe imeonekana vizuri sana.